so glad that you could join me this evening. I thought I would have a class and try a live video about how to make cards from start to finish. I'm just trying to get my laptop to show me so I can see if everything's all lined up correctly. Okay, looks like I could come in a little bit more and be a little bit more straight. Okay, so today we're going to make a card using the Poppy Parade set. My granddaughter Abby got this set recently, and so I thought maybe I would give her some ideas on how to make a card. The first thing we're going to start with is a sheet of Mango Melody cardstock. And we're going to cut it. We're going to put the 11-inch side up here at the top of our cutter, and we're going to cut it at 5 1/2. This is the new cutter from Stampin' Up. I'm not used to it yet. Okay, and so our black blade is the cutter. So now we have enough cardstock to make 2 cards. We're going to take the one side of it and we're going to slip it back in, and we're going to score it at 4 1/4. Now on the Stampin' Up cutter, the light gray blade is a scoring blade. If your cutter does not have a scoring blade, you could use your bone folder, or maybe a stylus, or maybe the end of a paintbrush, just anything that will fit into that groove to make a line. So now we have the perfect card right in half, and we're going to take our bone folder and we're going to crease it just to give us a nice crisp and fold, and it will lay flat. So now we have to decide how we'd like to make our card. I think I'm going to make this card to be positioned this way. Now the next thing I would have to decide is how big to make my squares or my rectangles on the front of the card. So what I have are these handy dandy layers that I've cut out so that I don't have to worry about cutting paper all the time trying to decide what I like. I just have these all cut. So I could take out this sheet and I can lay it there and decide, okay, with that big of a sheet, I'm just going to have an 1/8 of an inch border all around. But I think I want some more color. So I'll try the next sheet. Well, that's a little bit more, but we'll just try one more. So I think this one looks pretty good. It gives us just enough of the Mango Melody showing around. So I'm going to cut my Whisper White paper at 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. I find these cutting layers very helpful, and if you would like a set, just let me know and I will get one to you, or I will give you the measurements and you can cut them yourselves. So in back comes the cutter, and we're going to get our Whisper White paper and we're going to put it in here at 5 1/8. This new cutter just cuts so nicely. It has a rolling blade by 3 7/8, which is almost 4. So there we go. Now, we could decide on the stamp set. I'm going to use this stamp for the flowers and this just to add a little color. And I've already put them on my clear blocks. First, we're going to stamp the flowers. It's so nice to have the clear blocks so that you can see exactly where you're stamping. And we're going to use our Memento Black ink. We're going to tap it. And we're going to look and see if it looks shiny. It does. And I'm going to go, about halfway on the page. My table's very squeaky tonight. I don't know why. Okay. Then we're going to do it one more time. And like I said, it's very nice because you can see exactly where you want to line this up with. Very nice. Now we have this thing called the Simply Chamois Cleaner. It's purple. And don't notice mine is just so dirty. We're just going to take this and we're going to clean it off. And it gets, the black is kind of more permanent than the other colors, but it works like a charm. Put the lid back on. Now if I would have made a mistake, I just want everybody to know that paper has two sides, so I could have always flipped this over and stamped on the other side. No use to waste paper. That's why I always stamp everything before I put it together. So now we're just going to add a little bit of color to these flowers. So I have the Mango Melody ink, and this is how you open it. There's a little hole right here. You pull that up, fold it back, push it in. That way our ink pads are always upside down and helps them to stay very juicy. So I'm going to switch my stamp on the block to the speckly stamp. Again, I'm just going to tap and I'm just going to put some color behind the flowers. It's not going to actually fit in every flower. It's just to give the impression that they're colored in. So I can look at it and see, oh, I think I need a little bit more up here because I didn't go high enough. So that looks pretty good. Just gives it a nice simple touch of color. And then I was trying to decide what words to use. So I decided to try the Timeless Topical Set. And I'm using the stamp that says Our Friendship is Timeless. And I have it here on this long clear block. Again, I'm going to use the black ink. I'm going to tap. I'm going to look, see if it looks shiny. And then I'm just going to put it up here at the, I think I'll put it at the bottom. I'm going to put it down here at the bottom. Now I'm ready to put together the card. We're going to start selling some new adhesive, but I still have the old snail because I could just order it out of the new catalog on Wednesday and I haven't got my order yet. So we're just going to put some ink, some adhesive behind here. And we're going to adhere it to our card. Okay. So now let's say we just want to add a little bit more of a touch of a color or something, and we would like to put a ribbon, but we don't have any ribbon. So we're just going to take our paper cutter and we're going to cut a paper ribbon. We're just going to make it be, about a ½ an inch wide. And I'm just going to kind of put this on the flowers right here to kind of like make them look like they're hooked together. Now I have a little bit too much. Let me get my scissors. I just used a scrap of paper to do that with, so I didn't really measure it correctly. And I could just snip this off here. And there I have a card. So for our next card, we are going to use the set Back on Your Feet. which I forgot to bring over. Okay, so this time we're going to make the card be cut the opposite way. We're going to make like a long card. So this time we're going to cut it at 4 1/4. And we're going to score it at 5 1/2. Always remember that the gray blade is the score. Okay, I'm going to have to pause the video for a second while I find my Back on Your Feet stamp set, because I had it laying here, but now I don't see it right offhand. Let me look one more place. Okay, I will come back and finish this in just a moment. Taking it off the shelf. So now I've cut the paper at 4 1/4 and scored it at 5 1/2. I'm going to take my bone folder. Now my granddaughter Sophia ordered Witty Witticisms, and it's a stamp set that has a bunch of little pictures, and I do not own it, but I do have this one called Back on Your Feet, and you can notice it has some little different things you can look at. Hold on now, I'm trying to find my page back so I can see what this looks like. Sorry. I should have did that before I started. Okay, I just have to get down here to see my post. This is my first time, so I'll get better at this as it goes. Alright, we're just going to say that I'm looking good. Okay, so now again, when you have something like this, you want to kind of put your image in a square. So I'm going to pick the turtle, because I just think he's so cute. And again, I'm going to get out my handy dandy layering kit that I have here, so I don't have to cut out a bunch of squares and see what size I need. I can decide that right away. So here's my squares, and I don't want it to be too big, but I think this one looks pretty good. So I'm going to turn it on the back, and it's 2 5/8 square. So this will go like here. Now I need a long piece to go over here to kind of finish the card. So I'm going to again hold up some different, I kind of like that one, and it would look like this. And then I have 4 or 5 other sizes I could use, but I think I like that size. So I'm going to cut a piece of Whisper White 2 5/8 square and a piece of Designer Series paper this size. So I'm going to go 2 5/8. You have to remember your math when you're doing these things. And my squeaky table's back. Okay. So now I have my square for my turtle, and I'm going to get my square for my Designer Series paper is going to be 5 inches by 2 5/8. So I've decided to pick this designer paper. It's expired, but it still will go great with the old olive cardstock. So I'm going to cut it 5. I'm going to cut it 5. And then I'm going to turn it this way and cut it at 2 3/8. Okay, so now we're going to have this here, and we're going to stamp the turtle on this piece, and that'll just give us a nice simple card. So we're going to get the block back that we used in the poppy card, and we're going to put the turtle on. Now this time, instead of using black memento, we're going to use StazOn because we might use watercolor pencils or the aqua painter to color in the turtle, so we wouldn't need to have something that's not water soluble. So that would be our StazOn ink. So again, I'm going to tap it, and then I'm going to look at it. Oh, he looks pretty good and shiny all over, and I'm going to stamp it. And there he is. So now there could be a lot of different ways that you could color him in. I'm going to move all this other stuff so I don't get ink on it. The first thing you could do is use our Stampin' Right markers. If I could find them. Okay, we'll start out with the watercolor pencils. I have Old Olive and Granny Apple Green. So what you do with the color pencils is you color it in, you kind of just scribble a little, and you make some of it be light, just to add a little shading and stuff. And then you take our blender pen and you blend it. And it gives it a nice blended look. When you want to go to a different color, you simply wipe it on your scrap paper and move on to the next color. Another way that you could color in the turtle is you could take a stamp pad, squeeze it together, get some ink up here in the lid, and use your aqua painter. Now they're going to be, in the new catalog, they're going to be called water brushes because they got some new ones. But again, because they just went on sale on Wednesday, I don't have them yet. So I'm still using the old. But it would be the same idea. So I'm just going to color him in a little bit at a time. And then if I wanted to go a different color again, I could just go like this, get all the green out of there, and go to the next color. Okay, so that's 2 different ways. We have 2 more ways to look at. Well, you know, I was really prepared, but now things have kind of rolled out of the way for me. So we could also use the Stampin' Right marker or the Stampin' Right blend. So I'm going to show you what those look like. This is the Stampin' Right markers. They're just one color. This is Garden Green. So I'm going to use this side just like a brush, and I would just paint in the bottom of his shell this color. Now we also have blends, which come in a light and a dark color, so that you can do a lot more blending with them. So I think I'm going to do some yellow for the inside of his shell. So with the dark one, I would kind of line the outside of it. And then with the lighter one, I would color it in. And it will just kind of blend all together. A turtle's not a very good subject to see how well the blends worked, making the shadows and the contours. So now I think I'm ready to put the card together. So first I'm going to take my Designer Series paper, going to use my snail adhesive and tape it right down there. And now I'm going to take the turtle. Again, he has two sides, so if I would have made a mistake the first time, I could have flipped it over. And then to finish him off, I would probably put a white piece on the inside and use the words, hope you get back on your feet again. Thank you so much for joining me this evening, and if you have any questions, be sure to either message me or call. And I should be doing a video soon for my class in the mail. Have a good evening. Bye.